Wait,
Shumsky. John Flynn.
Hi.
Slightly closer.
Oh, pardon me, yes, we're across the hall, yeah.
Hi,
Hello there.
how are you?
Good, thanks.
Good.
I moved to
So
enter for
first-
refreshment to business.
I'm sorry?
Sorry, it's a wrong meeting.
Anyhow, so,
we get
are-
confused easy.
So we are,
I just want to forewarn you, these would be your bosses.
They seem fun.
I mean, if
They
you feel like
are.
leaving halfway through, we don't understand. I would like to formally start the meeting again from our recess of last night. This is the Selectmen's meeting that was originally started on September 5th and continuing on the 6th for the subject of 2 interviews. We're not going to pledge again.
No,
No, fine. Okay, so, welcome.
Thank
My
you.
name is John Flynn from the Board of Selectmen.
Greg Redist?
Don Davenport.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Thank you. You know, Bob,
Yeah. we're not-
Pam, of course, and
Laura Lee,
Hi, nice to
Zoom
meet you.
operator.
Zoom operator, right? Extraordinaire.
Working off her debt.
Yeah.
As long
Oh.
as Craig's here.
Oh, that's nice. Working off her debt. So basically, and that is what we do right you saw right now is, I think, fairly symptomatic of our board here.
Mhm.
You know, we do have a bit of a light attitude, but a serious attendance to business as well. So we're looking for somebody to replace Pam, who is quitting after 35 years.
I heard she's leaving in like 24 hours or
Yeah,
something.
right, yeah,
She's staying on until the end of the month.
24 hours.
right,
What are those X's on your calendar?
yeah. I think it's more important, what are the darts in our pictures, you know, that's, you know. So, we've advertised for her position. Bob has done a good job of, I think, coming up with a description that the board agreed with.
Mhm.
And you're obviously interested in applying for it.
Yeah.
So, with all that being said, we're here to ask you some questions.
Okay.
All right. What's your, we'll go in order. Do you want to
Okay.
do 2 questions in a circle where everybody finished theirs, or
Then we can do.
Actually, just rapid fire if you want. I mean,
We can do it.
do that thing like Meet
I
the
can
Press or
handle it.
something?
Yeah, we can do 2 questions, you know,
Just
open down
throw them out there, throw them out there.
Okay, exactly. So, what's your understanding of the role of the administrative assistant?
Well, pretty much they do everything, right? They're in charge. They're the boss. We always say.
Mhm.
And I know for this is the administrative assistant to the select board and the town administrator.
Correct. Mhm.
Yeah, so in my municipal roles before, you can see from my resume for the Hampshire Council of Governments and now for a public school. So that's why I applied for this job, because I really love municipalities. Everybody that works in them, I always say everyone's great, nice people.
Mhm.
How you guys are joking and laughing, it's kind of, I don't know, how most municipalities hopefully are. Everybody's, you know, they're good people who are there for the town. And that's why I applied for this position, because I would like to stay in municipality and get back into the town hall type environment. I do love the school as well,
Mhm.
but I really like the town hall side more.
On your resume, you got manage all human resources duties.
For the school,
Yeah,
so for the school, well, for the Hampshire Council of Governments, there was only 25 of us. So any new hires that came in, I onboarded them. I did all of the benefits. I worked with, we had Hampshire County Group Insurance Trust. That was actually in our building. We were in the old courthouse on Gothic Street in Northampton.
yeah.
So I would do all of that. I did all the accounts payable warrants. It wasn't called the select board, but it was, I forgot what it was called for us, but we had monthly, each town had to have a representative.
Mhm.
So I got all the warrants ready for that. We did payroll, we did the payables. I was in charge of the audits. I worked for the accountant's office, so I was the assistant director of finance. So we went into the towns like Goshen, Chesterfield, the hill towns. And we acted as the town accountant for that.
Oh,
So for HR stuff, that's what I was doing, all the benefit side,
yeah.
you know, setting them up in Infinite Visions, which is like Munis. And for the school, it's the same. All new hire comes to see me, and everybody who retires comes to see me. So I'm familiar with Hampshire County Retirement, MTRS. I know for here it's Hampden County Retirement. But so the same thing, setting up their deductions, payroll deductions, benefits, all of that stuff.
I remember Ken coming here from
Oh,
Council
yeah,
of Government,
yeah. And,
Ken
um,
Elstein, something.
yes, and he also is in Belchertown.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the Hampshire Council of Government, he was in the electricity and like
Mhm.
SRECs and stuff
Right,
like
trying
that,
to get
yeah.
us into aggregation. if I
Yes,
can remember what-
yeah,
He's
yeah.
still around?
Well, the Hampshire Council of Government's closed,
Mhm.
so they're not there anymore. Ken, I believe, is still in Belchertown.
Mhm.
So I don't really see him, but I think he's really pretty involved in the town.
Yeah, you're probably a consultant. That's what all those guys do, right, Bob?
Yeah.
Melissa, how do you say your last name?
Shumsky,
Shumsky.
yeah.
And what's your schedule like now within Belchertown School Department?
So we're there every day, 8 to 4, or 8 to 4:30. In the summer, we still work. We don't get school vacations off for summers. We're there. So we're, in the summers, I'm actually busier getting everything ready for the new school year.
And what kind of notice do they need if you were to accept the position?
So I'm on with them until the end of September.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be staying until September 30th is if I needed to leave sooner, I could. But that's what they hired a new person, so I'm training her right now. And I wanted to do at least 3 payrolls with her, because our payrolls are huge. They're over $800,000 bi-weekly. So we've done one, we have one tomorrow, and we have one more. And she came from Palmer School, so she knows a lot, but I wanted to give at least a month.
They hired someone because you were leaving anyhow?
I was leaving, yeah, I had another position that I was gonna go to, but that fell through.
Okay.
So then they had found someone and it just worked out, so I'm training her.
So mentally you're out of there and that's it.
I hate to, yeah, I mean, I always say,
You
like,
decide to go someplace else,
Yeah.
but.
but I never leave a job because I don't like it. I've loved
Mhm.
all of my jobs, which another reason why I'm staying with municipalities, because I just think it's good people.
Mhm.
And when I was at the Hampshire Council of Governments, it was wonderful, and I thought, I'll never find anybody like this. And then I went to Belchertown, and I love everybody in central office, so.
How many were on the committee of the Hampshire County?
So it was all the hill towns. So we had Chesterfield, Goshen, there was quite a few. I didn't go to all of the I want to say selectmen meetings, but I don't know if they were called that. They
Yeah.
probably were. So there was as many hill towns or anybody who was a member.
Yeah,
So we were in Northampton, but Northampton wasn't a member.
right.
But, all the little towns were. Belchertown was,
Mhm.
until they weren't. So, I mean, you chose to be a member.
Sure.
What's your flexibility like? We don't normally meet on Wednesdays like we're meeting tonight,
Mhm.
but Pam's here, a little flexibility. We usually have a late night with our meetings on Monday nights.
Yeah, she was telling me about that, yeah.
Obviously, we don't work Fridays in the town hall.
Yeah,
You have no issues with flexibility, stuff like
No.
that?
no.
About initiative, I mean, I look at your resume and you're good at the managing type thing. On occasion, Pam has shown initiative for, heading things off at the pass, if you will. And that's something that's important. It is to me.
Yeah,
So how's your experience been with that type of thing?
good. I think I take over things, really, not take over was not the right word, or maybe it was a Freudian slip. But no, I in all of the roles, I think each role that I've had is like a key role where you're doing so many different things. So at the Hampshire Council of Governments, the town accountant, he actually was retired and came back, and then he got sick and he actually passed away while I was there. So I was acting as the director of finance, so I had to do all of it. So, I was doing all the W-2s and 1099s, all that stuff that really we did it was just him and I, but I just did, if it has to be done, I'm going to just take it over and do it. And now with the school, I do all of the Medicaid stuff for the school. I do like the retirement packages. So if it needs to be done. And a lot of these roles, I think, like if someone leaves, like I had said to Pam, if she's gone, who's going to be training the new person? You just kind of look back at what was done before and you can figure it out.
Well,
I'm sorry. Would you say, you said you take over, but you say you more like you take leadership of the task?
Yeah,
at the end?
leadership. Yeah, yeah.
a lot of interfacing with the people here in the municipal government,
Yep.
but there's also interfacing with the public as well, which has to be, I think, balanced. We've talked about that before, that it's good to allow them to come in and express, but you have to be able to push them out too. I mean, we've seen this happen where if you give them an inch, they'll take the whole 5 hours and just sit here and tell you everything.
Yeah.
And if you were here as the new person, let me tell you what happened in the 40s, you know,
In the town of Hampden, yeah.
in the town of Hampden. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
select board. So are you good at, so to speak, that time management, that type of thing where you understand, yes, there's a public participation, but there's also managing the job as well.
Yes.
It's a little difficult here when we talk about the fact you're working with the selectmen,
Mhm.
and we still are the board of selectmen, even though we've had women members, they've all been happy being the board of selectmen. You have three, so to speak, bosses. You know, the town administrator, who's a boss as well, and you have to be able to balance all those. Sometimes Craig might say, I need this, Don wants, I need that, I say, I need this, and you have to be able to balance all that. And also keep us all in the loop,
Yes,
without violating open meeting law, of course,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, in central office, it's in for Belchertown, we're right in the central office, there's only 10 of us.
Mhm.
And I'm with the superintendent, assistant superintendent, the business manager, so I'm used to that. Like,
Mhm.
you know, if the superintendent needs something, the business manager telling me he needs something, you know, I'll get everything for everybody. And as far as like people coming in, we have so many hires that come in, especially like for a school, you have so many subs that will come in.
Mhm.
And I'm going over all their new hire packets, so I can get people in and out. But then I'll have a sub come in and I have to go over all the paperwork with them so that when they leave, they know what they're gonna do. They come back, I go over it all again in case they have questions. And I could have a teacher behind them just wanting to change her tax form, so, you know, I'm good with, our office is very busy. We have people in all the time. If they want anything to change at all, they come see us. So I'm, you know, really good with time management and helping people quickly and getting them what they need.
How many school committee members are there?
I think there's 5. I don't really, well, like I only have to have one sign, but I think there has to be 5 or 4. The superintendent side really does more with that. I'm more the business office side, but I think there's 5.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What does your workflow look like for note-taking, organizing tasks, compiling minutes? 'Cause that's gonna be a big part of the job as well,
Yeah.
and meeting nights.
So for our staff, we have over 400 staff. So just speaking of keeping track of everything, for the teachers, we have over 250. So we have Excel sheets, keeping track of that, we're using the software. I mean, I know you guys have Vadar, but which is like Munis, so keeping track of things in there. I have a Google Calendar, all of, you know, Microsoft using all the folders in Excel, and, you know, I would have folders for everything, but
I know when Pam takes minutes now, she, like, word for word, has a book of our meetings. A little overkill some days, but it's good for looking back.
Hey, it's all stuff you said, Greg.
yeah,
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
fortunate with the Zoom
Yeah.
thing, there's a
Yeah, it's
recording for you
recorded.
as well.
yeah, yeah.
Whereas before it was pretty much, I think before Pam would start with a copy of the agenda and then fill in items, you know, as the
Yeah.
meeting went along.
Do you said the teachers, Excel, you keep track of their time off, their sick time?
So we
or-
actually have we have some software for that. We have
Yeah.
something called ASOP. So like the subs will log into that, all their time off is kept into there. So they can do that themselves, and then we import it into like our payroll system, so that on their pay stubs, they see I have, you know, 16 hours of vacation time left. So there's multiple systems, just because it's, you know, it's huge.
Huge.
I mean, we're a pretty small school to say we're huge, but compared to Springfield,
Yeah.
but it's good that they have all of those things.
And the grants,
I was
you
gonna ask
manage the
that.
DESI grants?
So at the Hampshire Council, we had a RSVP grant, which is the Retired Senior Volunteer Program. That was federal grant through AmeriCorps. I did the financial side of that. So we were the grant holder. We were the fiscal side.
Yeah.
And then we also had tobacco-free grant, which was a state grant. At the school, we do have a drug-free grant, which is state, and then we have all the DESI grants. We do, as the business office side, we do the draws. You know, we're giving the different departments the different like budget reports. So where am I? How much money do I have left? In Munis, I build the budgets for the grant. So for the assistant superintendent, he's in charge of different ones, Title I, social emotional learning. I create the account numbers, I create the budget, and then monthly we'll meet to say how much is left in my salary line. And then the business manager and I will go in and we do the draws.
Do you have any role in preparing the school committee budget? You know, the whole overall,
The business manager creates the budget, and that's actually a consulting team called TMS. They're there 2 days a week. So they actually do the budget with the superintendent, with everybody. So they create it, it gets approved, it gets inputted into Munis. But everybody who wants, say, food service or the custodian manager, if they want a monthly report, I can give them a budget report per month or year to date.
does Belchertown Schools just have a grant writer?
No. The assistant superintendent does a lot of the grant writing, you know, or the sped director, she does a lot because she can apply for a lot of different grants.
Have you ever prepared any grants other than manage them?
I've never prepared any, no.
Do you think you'd be able to
I think so,
figure
yeah,
that out?
yeah, I do. I mean, especially with COVID, everybody had the ESSER grants and the ARPA grant, and I feel like all we've talked about is ESSER for, on the school side.
Yeah.
I mean, forever and ever and ever, and ARPA, I mean, I feel like I work directly with the town. So the business office, like I do all the deposits, I do all the cash deposits. So the high school, if they have money from games, I count the money, I put it on a turnover sheet, I bring it to the treasurer's office. I work directly with the town accountant's office. So for that, I'm working with all the offices up there as well.
Planning and scheduling is a big thing, you know, we have things that need to be done later in the week, next week, a month out. As you know, the municipal schedule includes town meetings, stuff like that. And it's important to keep that different type of scheduling up to date, if you will. Seems like there's a lot of balls in the air for that type of thing, you know. Renewals, you know, she always, you know, that's always coming up. And, it's the end of the year, yeah, but you need to start sending it out 2 or 3 months ahead.
Yes,
So you can vet all the information.
I'm definitely familiar with that. For the
you-
school, we do things quarterly, annually. There's things, I mean, getting ready for the end of the school year, I start in March. And getting ready for the new school year, I start in June. Like it's just, and there's things that only happen annually. I mean, so yeah, that's where you have your Google Calendar that's got reminders in it and all of that.
What kind of questions do you have for us?
I feel like I asked a lot of questions about the role when I met with Bob and Pam, just all the different things that she does. That's what I was telling her, what I really liked about it, the variety of stuff that she's doing. I like doing a variety of things. That's, I mean, in both of my past positions, I like that. I like doing all the different stuff where she's doing stuff for Bob, she's doing stuff for you guys, she's doing the minutes, you know, she's getting everything ready. So that's what I had liked about that for this position in particular. For questions, I think I asked Pam a lot of questions.
I'm just curious, do you run munis for both the schools and the town?
So the town, like for example, for our
I
payroll,
mean, one system for both.
we all share the same
Yeah,
unit.
okay.
Yeah, so like our
A lot of
payroll,
towns, a lot of places resist that. The schools resist it and the town resists it, but
well, I think
it's the right thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying the town and the schools like each other. It seems like, that was new to me coming into the school, like, but yeah, we work with them, so.
That's because the school spends all the money.
Yeah, they take all, I know, we take all the budget. But as the school would say, we are the biggest employer and, you know, whatever, but, yeah, so the town accountant's office, she like opens our payroll, I get it all ready, but then she actually ultimately submits it to the treasurer, who then does all the ACH payments, so I think it works well up there. Everybody works together good.
Is the treasurer appointed or elected there, do you know?
The treasurer is, I think it's appointed. We actually just lost our treasurer who had been there for 50 years.
Oh, yeah,
And then we
right, I
just-
thought I read that, yeah.
Yeah, she was there for a long time. And then we had a new woman come from Holyoke, and now she just resigned, so I think we're looking for a new treasurer. So we talked about that too, so many towns and losing so many key positions.
We talked before about the start date. I mean, obviously that's a concern for us, that Pam's last day is the 15th,
Yes.
you know, and then is there any type of wiggle room there?
Yeah. Really, when I was leaving, so I'm gonna be vested in Hampshire County retirement on September 23rd. So it was kind of just the superintendent, when I wasn't gonna go to my next position, it was like, I'm a couple weeks away from my vested date.
Mhm.
So it worked out that I could stay till the 30th, help the new person
Mhm.
and get vested. If I was gonna go to another municipal such as Hampden County that you guys have, it doesn't really matter. If I was gonna go somewhere private, I wanted to make sure that I was vested first so that I could come back.
So does that mean you
Would that be the
technically start the
same?
25th? Or are you locked in and start your end?
Well, yeah, I think you should get
well,
it rolled over.
we just said September 30th, just because when I talked to the Hampshire County Retirement, it was September 23rd, it was my 10 years vested.
Okay.
So,
So just for your own protection, John, I got a good question. For your own protection, are you gonna, can you roll it over to Hampden County?
Yes,
or-
I already called. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
okay.
then the vesting date wouldn't matter because you'd be continuously
yes,
in
yes,
government,
yep.
so to speak.
It only really, like, the superintendent was working with me just because we
Oh,
weren't sure.
You want to protect that
Yes,
vesting date.
yeah, sure.
yes,
If you went private,
yeah.
yeah.
But if you were gonna stay within a municipal, like, even if I was gonna go, like, to the state, it's
It's all
all,
the same system.
it's all the
yeah.
same.
Except for teachers.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's-
But even the teachers, I think,
They have their own separate.
they have their own separate, but like a lot of
They
the,
going up at the,
para will become a teacher and they can take their county retirement and roll it into
Roll
MTRS.
into that, yeah.
Yeah,
We had talked years ago about rolling Hampden County into the state system. You know, couldn't get, they wouldn't release it, you know, so your buddy over there, there's mine,
Yeah,
tip it over or whatever.
yeah. No, I forget his name now because we got rid of him.
He's in
It
this
seems like
place
you've
at the
been pretty
Cape, is he?
consistent though from your resume here, of your past jobs, and pretty much followed the same type of duties and responsibilities.
yes, yeah,
You're pretty seasoned, I would say.
yeah, in municipal. And I like that I was in the school for the last almost 5 years, because it was a whole other, it's the same, but different.
Yeah,
Well, we're all pretty much located here. I mean, we have a highway department building, we have the
Yeah,
police station, you know, fairly close by. We're small, community-wise in terms of area, fairly small, I think much smaller than Belchertown,
yeah,
you know. So it's not difficult. I don't think Pam leaves the building that often, but she does on occasion because she'll need to bring documents to a different department or something like that, so.
yeah, I think,
Yeah,
well,
we
we
have
have
a-
5 schools, because we do like inter-office stuff,
Mm.
you know, so we have the custodians, they're couriers, and they'll bring us stuff, but I go to the town hall and bring them the
Yeah,
deposits.
she's got a bike, and
Yeah.
that's fine.
She's got a moped, I can see her on a moped with a helmet.
We have a
leather
budget-
jacket.
we have a budget for
Yeah.
that. The
Yeah.
budget.
Flames on her helmet.
Used to be a horse back in the day. Well,
well, I have no more questions for this witness.
reserve the right to call back, though?
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. Greg?
No, I'm good. You answered a lot of questions, very informative. Thank you.
Bob, does anything else come up? Or anything?
No, just one thing, given the way things have been playing out here with candidates, I need another day to check references, which I haven't done yet,
Okay.
so I don't know if you were intending to make a decision tonight, but you can hold off until Monday.
Is that something we do? Do we ever check Bob's?
You had references?
Hmm?
You had references?
Do we ever check yours?
I don't think so. You know, I
That's
mean,
why
we
it's
don't,
here.
we don't have to, I mean, I think,
That's
you know,
good.
what you
That's
say
a
is
good
what you
point.
get.
I think the administrative assistant was supposed to do the reference checks.
Right, yeah.
Uh,
All right, okay.
yeah, I mean,
Pam, did you have any other questions, or no? Okay.
And PM sent me the employee handbook, so I was looking over that.
Hmm. And you still came. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, we did just bump up our insurance copay.
Yeah, we talked about that, yeah. Yeah, because I was asking for what the insurance, and
how much was it in Belchertown?
he asked me that, and I said, I should know that. I think it's 70/30,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what we were trying to get some type of.
Yeah.
equality
With
other
everybody
towns.
else.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Or the school is 90-10, I think, some of the bargaining units.
Sure.
But isn't the school the same as you guys? Do you not fall under all the same?
There's different bargaining units in the
Right.
school. I think we have 5 different ones, yeah.
And it's a regional school district,
Yeah.
which is
Oh.
different, so they have a whole different,
Yeah.
they don't really submit a budget to us, they submit an assessment. They figure this is their budget, send us a check for $8 million.
Yeah, I mean, it's omnibus on our end, so we think we're paying for this, and we think we are, I mean, but they could spend it anywhere they want.
Mhm.
So
But doesn't the school fall under your health insurance plan?
they're responsible to Scannick Valley, yes, but in terms of, I think it, you know, just like we voted to do a different level of commitment, in their different contracts, they can vote different
Oh, they're
things.
different. 'cause
Sure.
it's still-
Like
yeah.
I say, they have 5 different bargaining units in the district,
Oh, okay.
between custodians,
Yeah,
teachers.
I think we have 6.
Yeah.
Food service, teachers, paras,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was nice to meet everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you-
Thank
That
you.
long ride back, to be careful going over that bridge.
I don't have, no, I'm only 17 minutes. I'm on the Wilbraham side of Ludlow, so it's close.
Good.
Quick,
The
pretty ride.
the former singing bridge, I like it when it
Good
used
to
to.
know.
Yeah,
on the
well,
snow
I'm from
day- on the
Chicopee,
snow
so
day.
I know the original singing bridge. I mean, that's the one I know, but
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Like this over the
Bye.
top of it.
Bye.
Okay,
Oh,
so I wanted to see who was this.
oh, yeah.
So, to get back on, I had to upgrade to Windows 11.
Is that what your problem was?
It was a bunch of
Microsoft
outdated drivers,
was
you should do
blocking
the
you?
whole upgrade
Oh.
thing, yeah.
On the whole reference thing, you can make a decision tonight pending records check.
I think we should.
So,
This is Lauren McCormick.
Hi.
How you doing?
Everyone, how
John
you doing?
Flynn is the chairman of the board.
Nice to meet you, Jen.
Lauren?
Yeah, Lauren,
Lauren.
yeah, hi, nice to
Great.
meet you. Hi, nice to meet you. Good to see you again.
And Laura is our Zoom
Hi, nice to meet
moderator.
you. Where should I sit, or do
Right
you want me to
in
stand?
middle,
Okay.
yes, at attention, please. So, same first question, why the heck would you want to work here?
Well, to be completely honest with you, the first thought actually came from my sister. You know, my Kelly McCormick is my sister. And she absolutely loves working here. She loves the people she works with. I just got out of a job that I was at for almost 20 years for the same company as an administrative assistant. So I already have a lot of the knowledge and, you know, a lot of the things I did there, I think would apply to this job here. I did a variety of things over the 20 years. And I wasn't happy there for a long time. I was looking to get out, and she had mentioned how much she liked to work here, and I'd love to work in a municipal setting. Sorry, I'm nervous right now.
Oh, sorry.
I just think it would be a very good fit. I'm very driven, hardworking, I'm reliable. I'm very organized, detail-oriented. I'm very good at working with others, but I'm also good at working independently. And I'm a very quick learner with anything I'm not familiar with. I just think this would be a really good job. I'm really looking for something long-term, and I think this would be a really good place for that. I think it would be a great fit for me.
Great, you obviously had a chance to chat with Bob and
Yes.
Pam earlier.
Yeah.
About what the job entails. Do you think, from what their description was, and your experience may not be as detailed as other candidates or whatever, but do you think what they described a lot, and you just, I know, said some of this,
Yeah.
that some of the specific things they talked about, you see them dovetailing in with your experience?
Yes.
Okay.
What's your current work schedule like?
I'm not working at the moment, so I would be ready to start whenever you need me.
Okay.
Yeah.
How's your flexibility with time? We have a couple late night meetings.
Whatever we need. Yep.
Mhm.
I'm only 10 minutes away also, so I'm very close.
you live near Tinkham, right?
Yeah, I'm off
Road?
Tinkham, yep.
Yeah.
Right over the Wilbraham line and 16
Oh.
acres.
On the way to the cemetery or what?
Yep, right near the cemetery, yes. I was telling Bob and Pam, I also grew to love this town. My first job was at Pop's Pizza, which is
We see
now
that on your
Gio's
thing,
Pizza, yeah. So I grew to love this town, working there. I used to deliver food and got to know a lot of people in the
Stu
town.
Fuller and those guys.
I'm sorry?
Stu Fuller and those guys.
Oh, yeah.
and Pops,
Yeah.
Is it George, George Demers also, I think.
Yeah.
All right, other question,
Yeah, I had a train of thought, but it's left the station.
That may be something you become.
I think we all have that sometimes.
Well, that's one thing we talked about, is that
How
we
many-
have
how
three
many-
bosses.
And
you know.
you, last of all, how many people work there? Well,
At my last job,
Yeah.
about 30 to 40.
Well, what do they do?
I was a heating and air conditioning company,
Oh.
and I worked in the office there for almost 20 years, working with the office manager.
Yeah, payrolls and stuff like that.
Yeah, helped with payroll, accounts payable, accounts receivable, billing, answering phones, filing, emailing, typing quotes, anything they needed, working with customers,
How about like
spreadsheets.
human resources, stuff like onboarding people and that, or?
I didn't do too much of that, yeah. But I'm willing to learn anything.
So that was, I think, that dovetails into a thought I had about the interaction with the public.
Yeah,
You said customer interaction.
yes.
So you're used to, like, I want to say random people coming in.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get a lot of people that would come in, but anyone that did, I'd be the one that they would talk to, and I'd be the one communicating with people, email,
Right.
phones, everything. I did do stuff with payroll, I just didn't do anything as far as health insurance
Mhm.
side.
I do like when I see a word labor, tracking the labor in the
Oh.
jobs, but not, did you do any stuff with OSHA, any of that type of thing, or?
I'd keep track of the licenses for
Okay.
the sheet metal piping guys
Yeah,
there and
that's
OSHA stuff.
Mhm.
And I kept track of all the hours and time and the jobs that they worked at out in the field, especially the construction side of it.
Right.
We actually worked in this building at one point as well.
Mhm.
So on the licensing, do they have to do it every year or 2 years or?
Yeah, depending on the license, it was usually every year, 2 years, yeah.
And you would keep
Depending if it
track
was
of
like
that,
pipe
so
fitter, yeah, journeyman, or,
Mhm.
You would remind them,
Yep,
okay, you gotta get
Yeah.
the license renewed.
yep, keep track of all that, make sure they're staying on top of it.
Mhm.
What's your workflow like for like note keeping, record keeping,
I'm
minutes taking,
very organized, so I'm very,
task management?
yes, very good at all that.
A lot of experience with Microsoft product.
Yeah,
Okay. So 'cause
Word,
we do-
Excel,
We're
yeah,
pretty much all Microsoft
yeah,
here.
Outlook, yeah,
so-
that's all we used at the
Right.
last company I was at.
Mhm. Hmm.
We say updating company website and social media, give a little bit of background in,
Well, when we had new owners that took over a few years ago, and they started a new website, and I would help with that until they got someone else outside to run it.
Mhm.
And they started trying to use the Facebook. They didn't really get into that much as we would have liked, but I tried to get them into that because I think it's a good tool for free
Mhm.
advertising nowadays. Everyone's on social media, so
Hmm.
I tried to push it, but it wasn't ultimately up to me.
Mhm. Mhm. What questions do you have for us?
One question I was just wondering is when you would want someone to start. I didn't know if you're trying to, I know Pam's leaving soon, if you're.
Pam's leaving January 1st.
It's a joke.
It's a joke, really?
It's a joke he's trying to.
He's
I keep
hoping,
extending it.
yeah, he's
November,
hoping.
November 1st, yeah.
I didn't know if you were trying to have someone train with her next week
Well, that
or,
was certainly
Yeah.
a goal.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah, I mean, I believe that would be the best
If we made a
situation.
decision tonight, I mean, what's tomorrow like?
Yeah.
So-
I mean, I could come in tomorrow if you need me to.
But again, Craig did talk about your availability type thing, but
Mhm.
our hours here, I'm sure Bob and Pam reviewed that with
Yeah.
you.
Mhm,
And so it's budgeted at 30 hours a week.
yeah.
There are Monday nights typically.
Mhm.
During the summer, we only meet every other week, right, Craig?
Yeah.
Too soon, huh?
Except when we meet,
Except
when
this
we meet
summer,
twice a
maybe.
week.
Yeah. I think we met twice a week all summer. So much for my vacation.
Hey, look, you know,
Good thing I didn't go to Maine this year.
you didn't?
No.
So, what are you afraid of besides the dark? What do you?
Okay, be afraid
No,
right
no,
now.
yeah, don't forget
Am
the
I
beaver
afraid?
situation.
That's all right.
too, yeah.
Yeah, how are you with beavers?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, but when, in a setting, a work setting.
Yeah.
How do you react to, cranky old men like me?
Oh, I'm used to it. I've worked with men my whole life, so.
At least he admitted it.
Yeah, right, on camera too, yeah. But dovetailing with that again, have you watched
But I mean,
any
there's a
of our
lot of different
meetings?
there's a lot of different personalities.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what
Oh,
I'm trying
yes.
to get at, you know?
I'm sorry,
You're
Have
like
you
a
watched
baseball
any of our
manager.
meetings? Our
I have not.
YouTube channel?
I
Okay.
would.
That explains,
Yeah, you
that explains why you're still
don't
here.
have to.
No,
You're
that
saying I
explains
wouldn't
why
be
you
here
still
if I-
came in, yeah. Otherwise, yeah.
At least you guys can have a laugh.
Well,
We try to do that.
but that is the one thing we talked about, that you would have 3 bosses, 4 bosses, and that can be a thing.
Yeah,
You know, like I say, you work for a company that may have had a larger ownership,
yeah,
you know. Bob told me to do this, but Joanne said to do that, and reconciling those things.
yeah.
You know, Don calls, needs this report, Craig needs that report, and you need to be able to juggle the balls in the air.
I'm familiar with that. I actually had
Yeah.
4 owners previously at this job I was at for a long time.
Okay,
Yeah,
Usually we'll email Pam or Bob for, hey, do you have this
Yeah.
from the past? And, they're able to pull it up and dig it and say, yeah, this is what I found, this
Mhm.
signed copy of whatever,
and then there's probably some training that would be involved. We talked before, we're in this type of environment where we're in right now, it's important to make sure you're going by the proper record keeping, things like that. I did send an email out today about some seminars that are available from the state, and it would be important that, because you don't want to violate what they call open meeting law.
yeah,
Like, or you send a message to all of us and looking for an answer back,
yes,
do that.
yes.
that type of thing. So
Important, yeah.
we would offer some type of training,
Mhm.
for that type of thing,
Mhm.
so. Because when I come down, we're throwing you to the wolves.
Yes.
Oh, no, it was all Lauren.
I'll take it.
So, What other questions do you have for us?
I can't really think of any other questions, to be honest. I think I'm pretty familiar with the job, and besides just, when you're looking to start somebody, but I'm available anytime, so that's not an issue.
What were your hours there at the other place, at your last employer?
8 to 5 for the most part, yeah. It ended up closing early near the end of it but
They've gone out of business, is that it?
no, they had new owners and management took over, and they just unfortunately did not care about the employees that were there for a long time, and we're trying to get new people and pay less money, and it's a sad situation.
Hard to believe, but I mean, HVAC is so busy right now, it's just,
Yeah, it's hard to find good employees though in that field now.
oh,
Yeah,
tell me
Yeah.
about it. Yeah, we are.
everybody.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't going into
Oh,
those.
we have people come in, oh, I've got refrigeration background.
Yeah.
They have a refrigerator at home, that's their background.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you don't promote the trades for so many
Do
years.
it late at night.
All we make is training equipment for the
Not
trades.
you, but-
Yeah.
Society.
Yeesh. My God, we have more refrigeration trainers than Carter's got pills. That's
Yep,
that's
yeah,
dated for you.
Do you have any interaction with government agencies like OSHA or?
I have not myself, no.
Mm.
We had a person that was handling
No,
most of the
the
OSHA
whole
stuff
kind
at
of
the
thing,
company, yeah,
yeah.
he was the construction manager, so it
Oh, I
was
see,
more
okay.
fit for him, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to get the tuna subs with the pickles inside. At Pops.
Is he
That
talking?
pops. Pizza.
You actually look very familiar to me,
We were there all the time.
yeah, I'm sure we've met many times.
You're gonna recuse
I
yourself.
probably made your
Accuse
food,
myself
I
now.
probably made your food a lot.
There was a
No, I
nice
mean-
couple, that owned that, the man and the lady who owned that.
Yeah, Bill and
Yeah,
Margie,
yeah.
yeah.
Didn't they buy a package store in Connecticut afterwards?
I don't know, I haven't seen them in years, actually, yeah,
Obviously, with your sister working here.
yeah,
We're strong on the nepotism thing.
yeah. Don't hold that against me, please.
When my father was selectman, he said none of it.
That's right.
How many relatives of people we got working here? Eva, Sheila.
So we sometimes work at odd hours.
Mhm.
Like I mentioned, the schedule and stuff. Like tonight we're meeting. We don't normally meet. We've met twice.
Yes.
A couple times a week.
Yeah,
Don sometimes emails at 4 a.m. that need to get responded.
They do.
So,
He's on the
so
treadmill at
sometimes
5.
you'll get bombarded with.
I
You
just
don't
give an
have
hour
to-
to
you don't
answer.
have to respond until like 6 in
Look
the morning.
him, Lauren,
Yes.
no.
That's right.
But how do you feel about checking email on weekends and stuff like that?
oh, I have no problem with that. No problem with that at all.
Wow. Don't give them that, Laura.
She'll get over
You will
that.
regret that. Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
All right, I'm all set.
I'm kind of upset too, so. uh, That's.
You're good?
Yeah, we hate to put you
This
through a
is
ringer like
difficult,
this,
isn't
really,
it?
yeah. Yeah, geez, she's going out here sweating like, oh, they beat me up so
After all
bad.
the stories she's heard from her sister.
I know.
Oh, I know, she says.
Great.
Keeping my lips sealed.
Oh, Great.
No, she loves working here with everyone. She really does.
Mhm. Oh,
Yeah,
she's got a
an
good
asset to
board.
Yeah.
And so,
Yeah, I would never apply if it was like the same department as her, because that would be too close, but.
Well, down the hall.
Speaking of
Yeah.
keeping your lips sealed, some of the things we deal with here are strictly confidential.
Oh, yes,
And
that's
not even
understandable.
to your sister.
Yeah, oh,
Yeah,
no, no.
okay.
I don't tell her a lot.
Okay. Because
personnel,
one of the things, we do have executive sessions.
Oh,
which
yeah,
are,
yes,
You know,
yeah,
and that's.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
understandable.
there are personnel issues,
Mhm.
HIPAA issues
Oh,
and
yeah.
so forth that we have to
Yeah,
be aware of.
And you may have had that at the company as well.
Yeah.
I mean, HIPAA's been around for a while.
Oh, yeah.
And we understand that. So. All right. Well, any more?
I'm all set.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lauren.
all right, thank you,
Thank you
guys.
so
It was
much.
really nice to meet you all. I really appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, excellent.
Nice and cool in here.
I know.
Well, we met down here and stuff.
Oh, very nice. No, I was thinking when you came in.
I'm just getting hungry at
Thank
6:30.
Thank you, have a good night.
Thank you.
Getting hungry at 6:30.
Air conditioned office.
I've got
Should be
those,
able
I've
to-
got those mozzarella sticks still waiting for me.
No cookies? No cookies?
There's a story before you came.
Oh,
Never mind. All right, so. Still two? Still two. Okay.
Have you discussed salary with either of them? Have they?
No, although one,
Yeah.
the first candidate named the salary that she wants. There's been no negotiation. We posted a range,
Right.
so,
Was she within that range?
pardon?
Was she within that range?
No. If you go to grade 5, the top step
It's 40.
is close, but not in that range. I did give you these, so if you look on the bottom, I just took the hourly wage and projected it out to an annual amount, which is what we talk about when we talk to people about
Yeah,
their
yeah.
salary, you know, not the
So
hourly.
you're saying this year?
No, what I'm saying is that the first group there, grade 5, step 1,
Yeah.
would be up here.
Right.
Step 1. And it would start at that number there,
Mhm.
and that projects out to that amount for 30 hours. If you wanted to go more than 30 hours, that's what it would, this is grade 5, step 1, at 35 hours. And then there was some discussion of another grade, and so I projected out the information for another grade. And also put down here, up here is the current salary,
Mhm.
and then there's the current salary for that, so.
Right, if we do the math for instance, the current grade 5 at the maximum step, it's around 52. We see the current at 55, and that's probably because we've done a couple of pluses since we put that out. I mean, back in the day, you were plus, you know, because you were topped out on the steps or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's probably why it's
When
over
we added
the
in all the
max
years or
grade
whatever.
5. I did make the point to Bob earlier that if this is a position that we're talking about moving a little more of the assistant town administrator, I feel it should be a grade 6. We have other admin assistants in the town hall that are grade 6s. And I don't think it'd be wrong to be a grade 6-1, which would actually be less than the grade 5 top we're looking at right now. So the funding would be in place. And you said grade 6-1 would still be 50, which is less than the budgeted amount this
Right,
time.
yeah.
Right.
My own feeling is that, which you haven't asked for, but I want to comment that this position of administrative assistant is different than others, in that there's a lot of confidential material that we deal with. There's a lot of personnel information that we expect to remain confidential. And there are other delicate matters that certainly a person who can handle confidentiality is what we're looking for. And secondly, I think the responsibilities of the whole business of the insurance is a factor that other administrative assistants do not deal with. So there are somewhat more responsibilities than for double A's in other parts of the organization.
Let's talk about the candidates.
So one can start ASAP, one can't start till the end of the month.
Right, one could come in tomorrow and start shadowing right away.
However, I feel if we chose one that could start later, we could get by for a couple weeks. Sure, Jane doesn't want to hear it, but she could take on a little extra role
Oh, boy.
for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And we've got 5 years still. So
And you're just down the street.
Yeah,
so you're
right.
staying until the end of the month, is that what you said?
Yeah, the end of actually the end of the year, I thought, well, why not,
Tax work-off, great idea.
Oh, funny boy.
Emeritus. Hey, emeritus.
Yeah.
There you go. Here's your badge. Keep the parking space.
I don't think it's any question that one candidate has got a lot of good credentials, a lot of experience. And I think the resume itself, in a format-wise, is very easy to read and appealing. I'm leaning one way over the other right now. I mean, I'd be ready to make a motion right now for a candidate.
Yeah, I would too. I think, well, quite frankly, I think our first candidate's our best candidate.
Yes.
Got a lot of experience, particularly with, I like the insurance part and she's done some human resources stuff, she deals with that.
The benefits was huge too.
Yeah, it benefits,
I don't think we'd be hurt by either candidate. I mean,
No.
you can say,
they're both
they're
good.
both,
Yeah.
rate well. I agree with your point that Mrs. Chomsky has a little more experience that might be more relevant to what we're doing right now. I think Mrs. McCormick also has some skills that would be helpful as well.
Well,
I'm concerned by Bob's comment about the salary, though. That made a point that this is what I'm expecting. And I'm concerned that we go ahead and offer, and it falls apart based on the fact we're not going there, because we're not even funded at that level at this point.
Yeah, we have to worry or be concerned about the impact on the organization of breaking any patterns and so forth, because everyone pays attention. And many who feel I've been here 10, 15 years, and suddenly someone comes in and they get something that the rest of us haven't received. So we have to be somewhat concerned about that, morale for the organization.
Well, that's it. I mean, we're budgeted at 55, basically. Well, I want 61. Well, you're brand new. And you're coming in over the person that's been doing the job for 20 years.
Well, I mean, the other thing is, we haven't conducted any
I'm
negotiations.
just saying it's also something that should be considered.
Right.
And we go into, well, we're gonna take 2 or 3 days and negotiate it. Well, then we've lost 2 or 3 days again. And that's a thought.
I think you've already expressed the interest of going up to, what was it, grade 6, step 1?
Right, 6-1, which
I mean,
gets us into.
that's a lot of room for growth there.
Well, it gets us at 50.
Right, but
Right, yeah.
grade 6, stepwise, I mean, there's a lot of room for growth.
Oh, yeah,
We're not,
yeah.
we're not maxing.
No,
So it's not like we're saying, hey, you're gonna start in cap.
right. Yeah.
So there's room,
No,
there's
you're limited.
opportunity.
Yeah, right.
We're not eliminating it.
Mhm.
Personally, I think, we have to go with the stronger candidates, regardless of our speculation of salary.
Okay, but do we gotta move, based on the fact that we took a little time hoping for another candidate and that put us a little behind here. We need to set an aggressive type thing. If, as I'm sensing, you wanna make a motion to offer Melissa the job based on a successful negotiation of salary, and we need that answered back by COB Thursday, Friday?
Wednesday, Thursday, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or Friday, 9 o'clock, you're in night to think about it.
Right. And what are we offering?
I also wonder though, with this other candidate, what we have in our temporary health fund, if we wanted to have somebody shadow Jane on a part-time basis to see if that's a role that she could fill, get that role in. So I think, we have two candidates here that
Yeah.
could be beneficial to us. If we have money in temp help, and, currently she said she's not working.
Well, we don't know if she has an interest in that job, though.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly something we can throw out to her and say, we decided to go one way. However, we're gonna be posting this other job. Is this something you'd be interested in the future? So,
So
all right, so,
I would move to offer Melissa Shumsky, offer pending reference check and salary negotiations for the administrative assistant position.
what is the, well, I would second that with a caveat. Again, she has some relevant experience, but not in the total job. So I'm not interested in a lot of step adjustment based on experience. I would make a motion, I would amend that to a grade 6-1. Which gives her the growth. And I think labels the position appropriately in terms of the grade. And stays inside the budget too. Because one caps out at 51.
6/1, 30 hours?
Yeah. Right now, it's probably, right now, it's 5/12 plus.
Are you doing 30 or 32? 30.
I still want to get back and forth with, okay, we offer, Bob, what's my salary gonna be? Let me go back to the board, and oh my gosh, here we are a week from now. I think it should be in the, where we're going. Otherwise, we're gonna be October 1st.
Was there a reason for Melissa's departure from her job?
Oh, yes,
Said that,
she had applied for another job, but it fell through. Yes, right.
But she was already on her way out.
Right.
Just curious about why the departure, but.
all right, am I seconding it, or you're seconding? You're making.
I was
an
gonna
amendment.
second, but I wanted to amend it,
Yeah.
and put a cap in for the number.
My question though, before we go further there, is grade 5, step 12 is less than grade 6, step 1. Are you comfortable starting, or would we want to start grade 6, step?
No,
Two?
12
No.
is higher than 1.
Right, 12 is higher than 1.
Right, yeah.
But if you're going to stay with the system,
Mhm.
it's either 5/1 or 6/1.
Right, I mean,
You
somebody
can't
should come in at
skip
a
through
1.
the
I
steps.
got you,
Only if they had relevant experience, you
Right.
made a thing for that, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you'll do a lateral from some other place
Right.
and give them some credit, just like you do with,
I think based on how we advertised and the fact we felt it was gonna be a bit of a shadow to the TA, it should be a 6.
Yeah, I'm not doubting that.
Okay.
I'm just
6-1,
doubting.
it's under the number.
I mean, I just think she's got a lot, I heard she doesn't have relevant experience, but I'm looking at, I see relevant experience. So we need a second on John's amendment, or how's that work?
I think we have to go into the offer with a number.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we're gonna be back and forth, yeah, so,
Second your amendment.
okay, so if I read the motion correctly, offer Melissa Shumsky the job, and Bob is directed to say the position pays $32.23. for a 30-hour job. And we're looking for you to start,
Whenever she can start.
right, wow.
I mean, she said she had to vest until the 23rd, so
Right.
I think technically,
Well, that was only if she stayed, if she left the retirement system. If she transferred laterally to a different retirement system, the person said you can leave whenever.
Yeah.
Because you're staying in a government retirement
Doing the
system,
system,
right?
yeah,
So the vesting would carry forward.
Ratio
Right,
carry
yeah.
forward.
yeah, so I mean,
So that would be important if she could let us know when she can start with this type of thing, if she.
Yeah.
Is there a,
No problem
is there a
enrolling.
delay in getting into the retirement thing?
No problem. I've done it 3 times. I was in Hampden County in Springfield.
Okay.
I went to Norfolk County and worked there, and then I went to Essex County.
Mhm.
So I retired out of Essex County, so you can, that was not a problem.
Okay,
I got 3 of those too.
so,
What?
I'm
I
sorry,
got 3 of those too.
yeah, all in favor?
I,
Aye. I would also, I like Craig's suggestion, and I would ask Craig, would you work with Jane and see if Ms. McCormick might be interested in looking into that position for the future?
yeah, I mean, do we need an official motion? Well, we haven't
No, I
posted
don't
that
think so.
job, so
We
we
haven't
can't,
posted,
we
just-
can't do anything.
Yeah, explore it.
Yeah.
It's your board, so.
Her salary request, right, was based on, she works 8 to 4, 5 days a week now. Was her salary request, we're talking like 4 days a week. You know what I'm saying? She was working 40 hours, we're talking 30
30
hours
hours at a comparable salary.
at a comparable salary.
Well,
And-
yeah, if you
and-
if
and
you
also-
boosted, see,
I mean, I'd like to work less hours and make the same money, but.
And also, don't forget, she said 70-30 on the insurance, and we're 75-25.
That's right.
Which are plus too.
so, yeah,
Much better parking place too, probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other business to come before the board?
Motion to adjourn?
Second,
All in favor?
aye.